You know, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't want to make this a part two, but you can't relate. We can't relay all the truth of the world in one part. I've tried it. That was like my 10th time. So I'll slow down and we'll finish this. Vaccines, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, What's Coming Through That Needle. It's a DVD series. Vaccine Nation by Gary Null. Callous Disregard. It's a book written by Jenny McCarthy, wrote the foreword to it. There's another DVD called Injecting Pandemic. Understand how evil the Vatican is, and the police and the pedophilia that all the Catholic priests do. Education lies in the textbooks. Our education system is dumbing down our children. Charlotte Iserbit wrote a book called The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. Her name is Charlotte Thompson Iserbit, I-S-E-R-B-Y-T. They're trying to depopulate the planet. Agenda 21, look up Agenda 21 and read what they're saying on Georgia Guidestones. Waco, to familiarize yourself with Waco, watch Rules of Engagement, A New Revelation, and 17 Little Children. To familiarize yourself with the evilness of Zeitgeist and how that's a completely false solution, watch Zeitgeist 3, Moving Forward, Exposed. You got to type in the word exposed. And watch a video that I did, which is The Truth About Zeitgeist by Lone Star 1776. Just type in that at YouTube. To understand music lyrics and how the New World Order and Satan puts in his bad messages in music lyrics, watch Rock Music Exposed, Do What Thou Wilt. Political correctness equals censorship. Watch a YouTube video called The History of Political Correctness. Hollywood and television programming. Watch New World Order, Illuminati in the movies. YouTube that phrase, New World Order, Illuminati in the movies. If you understand why the university students are being taught to hate America, watch The Hidden Agenda by G. Edward Griffin when he interviews Norman Dodd. Investigate TSA naked body scanners, harassment, and conditioning. Realize that the Patriot Act is anything but patriotic. It's to make you give up freedoms that our forefathers have fought and died for. Understand that feminism was started to get a bigger tax base because they knew that the women weren't working, so they wanted them to go to work so they could tax them to death. They wanted to break apart the family. A mother can be a mother to a child, but it takes a father to teach a young boy how to be a man. If you want to teach a boy how to be a man, it takes a father. And so they're trying to break up the family with this homosexuality crap and making mothers work and making everybody dependent on the state. They want to break apart all families because they just want everybody to be dependent on the state. Aspartame is a huge poison. It's killing tons of people. There's a DVD called Sweet Remedy. People cannot handle ridicule, and that's why you don't see anybody speaking up for the truth. They can't handle being ridiculed by their fellow men because they don't understand that God will be proud of them. They only think that they need to make their fellow man proud, but it's not about making our fellow man proud. It's about making God proud. So YouTube search a video on YouTube called Conformity and watch that video. I promise it will explain to you how peer pressure and being affected by ridicule changes people's behavior. Now some people it doesn't, and those are the people that I respect. But watch a video called Conformity. Our foreign policy and how evil that is, I could go on and on about how we first bribe them, and if they don't bribe, then we try to assassinate them, and if we can't assassinate them, we send in the military. But John Perkins did a DVD called Confessions of an Economic Hitman by John Perkins. Ron Paul wrote a book called A Foreign Policy of Freedom. The best defender of capitalism and individualism in the whole world, in the history of mankind, in my opinion, is Ayn Rand. I know she was an atheist, but she knew about capitalism and individualism. And not having a corrupt money system. We've got to return to an honest money system. If you want to understand the evils of big pharmaceutical companies and how they try to treat us like an economic unit instead of a person with a soul and dignity, watch a DVD called Psychiatry, Industry of Death. Psychiatry, Industry of Death. If you want to understand about water corruption and how they're corrupting the water table in all of America, watch a DVD called Gasland, G-A-S-L-A-N-D. If you want to understand about the war on drugs and how they're using that to control us and how they're using that to take away our rights and treat us like cattle, and to falsely arrest tons and tons of people. Watch a video series called Never Get Busted Again by Barry Cooper. I've never did drugs my whole life. I'm not an advocate for doing drugs, but I don't think the government has the right to bust people and create a war on drugs. And I could just watch the video Never Get Busted Again by Barry Cooper, and I don't know, it's very bad what the government's doing in the name of war on drugs. Depleted uranium. Watch a video called Beyond Treason by William Lewis and understand how depleted uranium is being put all over Afghanistan and Iraq. FEMA camps. I think that there's many camps all over the United States that could be converted in a heartbeat if they wanted to. Watch a video called Camp FEMA American Lockdown, and there's a second version of that too. But just look up Camp FEMA DVD, and hopefully you'll be able to find it. Election Fraud USA. There's a DVD called U.S. Election Fraud and the Death of Democracy DVD. Look up HAARP, HAARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, and they're using that to control the weather, and it's probably along with chemtrails and everything else. Holes in Heaven. There's a DVD called Holes in Heaven, HAARP and Advanced Tesla Technology. And Jesse Ventura did a video on HAARP. And I could mention JFK, but we all know, I hope you know that JFK wasn't killed by Lee Harvey Oswald. Okay, government corruption. Listen to people like Judge Andrew Napolitano. Listen to people like Kay Griggs talk about government corruption. Taxi to the Dark Side by Alex Gibney will tell you all the evil stuff that's going on in Middle East. Watch a video called Wake Up Call. Watch a video called Iraq for Sale, the War Profiteers. Watch a video called Deception Was My Job by Yuri Bezmenov. Okay, things that I don't align with but I think are probably trying. The Secret of Oz, they talk about how golden money is not the answer, but we got to get control of the Federal Reserve. No, that's not right. I don't align with the Secret of Oz. It's not about getting control of the Federal Reserve. We have to abolish it. David Icke, he talks about reptilians, and I'm not saying he's bad, but he's not aligned with the Holy Bible, and so I have a hard time supporting the guy. He does try to promote truth, but I have a hard time believing in the reptilian thing. Sorry. When it comes to UFOs, there's a video by a guy named Christian. I can't think of what it is. Shoot. Anyway, UFOs are not people from other galaxies that have flew here in little spaceships. They are actually spiritual beings, demonic things, and they're used to manipulate you if you open yourself up to it. You won't see UFOs and stuff if you don't allow yourself. I mean, sometimes they capture evidence on camera, but UFOs are not aliens from other galaxies. They're demonic spirits. There was a movie put out by the corporation. I don't like anything Michael Moore has done. Michael Moore supports, he doesn't support capitalism, and he doesn't support individualism, and there's some things that Michael Moore says that makes a little bit of sense, but overall I can't stand any of his work. So if I were to say this was my last video ever, and this is part 2, I made a part 1, I've tried to convey to you as much truthful stuff as I can. And I know that there will be a few people that come with a little bit of the truth, but they don't see the bigger picture. But we've got this huge picture. We got, did I mention peak oil? Fool Me Once by Ian Crane. And sometimes I skip stuff. I mean, I try to go through everything. Did I mention feminism? I think I did. I mean, we got the Holy Bible, the Second Amendment, gun rights, media lies, abolish the Fed, 9/11 was an inside job, global climate hoax, evolution is a lie, we got a fraudulent President Obama, one world government, attack of the U.S. Constitution and our Christian heritage, currency collapse, healthcare takeover by government, economy collapse by design, America collapse by design, swine flu, AIDS, and other false flag medical attacks, the North American Union, free energy and Nikola Tesla, chemtrails, RFID chips, abortion, apathy of the American people, pedophilia, rampant pedophilia, Islamic threat and Sharia law, BPA on cash receipts, cancer fraud, communism, not only cancer fraud, but diabetes fraud, all of the treatments that mainstream medical establishments do are practically fraud. Communism, GMO foods, Zionism, fluoride in the water, homosexuality, eugenics and euthanasia, vaccines, the Vatican is evil as hell, police state and police brutality, education and lies in the textbooks, depopulation, Christian churches are becoming anemic in America, Waco and how that was white man's wounded knee, Ruby Ridge, zeitgeist and the false solution being offered by the New World Order, music lyrics and how Satan influences people through music lyrics, political correctness equals censorship, Hollywood and television programming and New World Order clues left in Hollywood and movies and television programming, hatred for America in the universities, liberal doctrine being taught in the universities, naked body scanners, harassment and conditioning, Patriot Act is anything but patriotic, feminism, aspartame, people cannot handle ridicule and conformity, foreign policy and how we've screwed the whole world up with our bad foreign policy, Ayn Rand, and how, she was one of the defenders of capitalism and individualism, which don't exist today. Big pharmaceuticals and psychiatry industry of death, that particular DVD. Water corruption in a movie called Gasland. War on drugs and how that's a big freaking fraud. Depleted uranium and a DVD called Beyond Treason. FEMA camps, election fraud, and the death of democracy. The End of America by Naomi Wolf, I think. Naomi Wolf, yeah. And peak oil. Gold and silver are going through the roof, and we need an honest money system. HARP and Holes in Heaven DVD, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, Government Corruption, Kay Griggs, Holly Grieg, the pedophilia, and all the government people that were abusing Holly Grieg, Iraq for sale by war profiteers like people like Dick Cheney, Deception Was My Job by Yuri Bezmenov, and then we had a lot of people offering false solutions. So, I'm just worn out. I mean, is anybody watching this video that also sees all this crap? Do you see all this evil? What do you think about it? I mean, how do you live your life? I mean, when you go get a hamburger at Whataburger, do you think about Holly Grieg? Do you think about Holes in Heaven, HARP, and how they're changing our weather? Do you think about the tsunami and the earthquakes that they're manipulating? Do you think about our water supplies contaminated? How do you enjoy your hamburger at Whataburger? I'm sorry, guys. I'm breaking down. I'm going to break down in front of everybody. Hey, find yourself a good church. Find yourself a good church. And try to live a life that's pleasing to God. That's the best. Try to focus on winning souls. All right. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world in there. God bless every one of you. Try your best. And if at the end of your life, the Lord looks down and you're standing in front of Him during judgment, and He says, "Well done, my good and faithful servant," then that's a good thing. God bless every one of you.